everyone, I'm just going to do a really quick video today just to talk to you really briefly about the 5 ways to well-being. So I've had quite a few people have approached me this week to ask if there are any quick wins in terms of how they can help themselves to feel better in terms of the mental health. So I think now some restrictions have been lifted, people are feeling a little bit confused, people don't know what they can do, what they can't do, struggling to adapt to this kind of new journey, I guess. And as I say, I know that has put a bit of anxiety within people, and I know a lot of people, as I say, have particularly contacted me to say that they're struggling at the minute, don't kind of really know where they're up to, and are just looking for ideas about how they can help themselves to stay on track. So just thought spend a few minutes literally just going through the 5 ways to well-being. So 5 really simple ways that you can kind of keep your mental health on track, and things that you can do just to help yourself to feel better, things that we should always be doing and be kind of mindful of. So these are nationally kind of recognised and are proven to be really effective in terms of managing our well-being. So the first thing is connect. So the idea is that it's really important to connect with other people, so we know ourselves if we're struggling, if we're feeling low, isolated, stressed, whatever it might be, any sort of negative emotion. Often our human response to that, our natural response, is to withdraw and take ourselves away. That's the worst thing that we can do. To shut ourselves away, to isolate ourselves, will only make ourselves feel worse. So what we need to do is to make sure that we connect with other people. And that can be friends, it can be family, it might be that we go for physical kind of connection with them. We could meet them, for a brew, or go to the house, in the garden maybe. Obviously at the minute we've got to be particularly careful about visiting houses, but the guidelines do say now we can meet people out in public spaces. Single parents, for example, can meet other households. So again, the restrictions are the different, the guidelines are different for individual people, so you need to be mindful of that. But it's just important to stay connected, and if you can't stay connected physically with people, there are things like phone, social media, online platforms. So we've talked a lot about Zoom and things like that. So just thinking about being creative. How can you connect with friends, with family? Do you need to set up a quiz or something like that online? Can you use social media just to connect with an online support group, for example? Whatever it might be, but really important just to make sure that you don't withdraw, you don't isolate yourself, and you keep yourself connected to other people. The next one is to take notice. So again, I've spoke many times about a lot of us running around and not really taking in the kind of world around us. So we need to just make sure that we take time every day to really connect with what is going on around us, using our senses. So just thinking about, what is it that we can see, what can we hear, what can we feel, what can we touch, what can we smell, and just really enjoying some moments where you might be able to use those senses. So there's various things, everyday activities. It doesn't have to be something specific or kind of fancy. It might just be when you're washing the dishes, for example. So think about how do those bubbles on your hands feel? What does that washing up liquid smell like? What's the temperature of the water like against your skin? Just really engage with that activity rather than just letting it pass you by and your mind doing other things, thinking about what it might be that you've got to do later or whatever. Just really engage with that moment. Again, it might be while you're having a shower, so feel the water, on your body. What does that feel like? Again, as you kind of lather up the shower gel, how does that feel? What are the smells that you're experiencing? And again, just try and really enjoy and be in that moment. Just take notice. And you can do this while you're doing other activities as well. So it might be that whilst you're walking, for example, you might try and take more notice of the natural environment around you. Again, often we might go walking and we're on our phones, or we're texting, we're catching up on social media, and the world just passes us by. So just try and take a bit of time every day just to really live in the moment and to be mindful. And if you struggle with that, as again, I've always said that I can struggle with being mindful. Sometimes it might be helpful to log into, something that might help you to guide you along with that. So whether it's like a meditation or something like that. If you go on the Mental Health Foundation website and you type in podcasts, there's lots of mindfulness podcasts that come up there. So again, you can either just sit in a comfy chair or lie in bed, whatever it might be, and somebody will talk you through a mindfulness podcast and an exercise, which can sometimes be helpful for those of us who struggle just to take notice and to be mindful in our everyday lives. The next recommended step is to give. So we all know how much it makes us feel better and how good we feel when we give to other people. So of course it's important to look after ourselves, but it's important to think about other people as well and to give. As humans, we get a lot from giving to others. Again, it doesn't have to be anything of monetary value. I mean, it might be that you want to give to charity, and that can help you to feel good, to know that you've done something to help other people. It might just be that you bake a cake for a neighbour and you give that to them, or it might be that you do an extra meal when you're cooking. Again, give that to an elderly neighbour or somebody that might be struggling, isolated, a relative or something like that. There's loads of things that you can do. It might be that you make something crafty, or you just send a card to somebody to let them know that you're thinking about them. Whatever it might be, we often think about kind of what we call random acts of kindness, but it does make us feel better to give to other people. It gives us a boost. So not only thinking about ourselves, but thinking about what we can do to give and to help others as well. Next thing, and really important, is to keep active. So as we all will know, no doubt that exercise, as we always say, is like a natural antidepressant, gets our endorphins going. The government recommend around 60 minutes of moderate intensity exercise for your average adult each day. And again, it's just really important to get out of the four walls of your house, have a bit of stimulation, get those endorphins released, and get yourself physically kind of moving. Has a massive impact on your mental health. So again, what we want to do generally is, when we're struggling, shut ourselves away. That's the worst thing that we can do. And it's moderate exercise, so that's about whatever is relevant and suitable for you at that time. Doesn't mean that you've got to go out and run a marathon every day. It might be that you just go on a 60-minute walk every day, or you might need to build it up. It might be that if you haven't done that for a while, you just need to do 30 minutes initially. It might be that you don't find that interesting. You might want to find a yoga class that you're going to engage with online. There's all sorts of physical activities that are being offered online at the minute. So if you can't go out of your house, again, don't use that as an excuse. There are lots of things that you can do in the home as well. But being physically active is really, really important. And as I say, the NHS guidelines recommend that we should be doing up to 60 minutes per day. And again, there are other things that you can do. I know a lot of people are interested in the number of steps that they do now. So rather than focusing on time, sometimes hear about people doing the 10,000 step challenge. So some people want to challenge themselves to do 10,000 steps a day. If you're a very active person, that might not be enough for you. So you might want to challenge yourself to do 15,000 steps every day. If you're just starting to build up, you don't want to overwhelm yourself, you might say 5,000 or 6,000 steps a day. And just try and think about things like that might motivate you. So if kind of thinking of an hour's exercise puts you off, maybe think about steps or things like that. Whatever it might be that can help you to engage with exercise. But do try and be active for an hour at least each day if you can. It does make a massive difference. And then finally, keep learning. So again, as human beings, it's really important for us to make sure that we're challenging ourselves, we're stretching our brains and keeping everything kind of moving, kind of mentally. So we need to make sure that we're learning all the time. So whether that's learning a new skill, or whether it's challenging yourself to do something different, whatever it might be, just think about how you can keep learning. And again, there are lots of ways that you can do that. Okay, so just to review, we've got connect, take notice, give, keep active, and keep learning. And if we can implement those things and build those into our daily lives, they really will help. So just have a think about what you've been doing. I'd love to hear what people have been doing in each of those areas, so that we can all learn from each other and share. So if you've got anything particularly that you're doing to stay well, or to try and help yourself in those areas, please comment on this video below. We'd be really interested to hear those ideas, and as I say, so we can share with everybody. Okay, take care everybody, bye.